Not Your Professional Walkthroughs channel presents.
May 14th, 1916. Freddy was sent to the Somme, while Emil's regiment was quartered near a small village at the top of a hill. The village was called Vauquois. This is where the conflict had moved underground. Holed up in their trenches, the two camps dug tunnels and galleries. The underground war had begun.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Valiant Hearts here on Your Professional Walkthroughs channel with me, your host Max. On today's episode we will continue our adventure at the town of Vauquois, or whatever is the proper French pronunciation. And this is one tricky mission. There will be lots of puzzles, there will be lots of digging, so get ready for some real trench warfare. Anyhow, we will ask Vulture to go into the tunnel, and Emil will need to go underground. So the soldier will not let us move past in that direction, therefore we will need to go and go on through here. Which is where we will come across some really interesting thing, like the Vauquois and mine warfare, where both of the enemies were trying to dig underneath the other enemy trenches and just put in ton of explosives and then blow them from underground, which surprisingly enough did work. But in certain cases, I do recall certain battles during the American Civil War where this technique has been actually utilized, where this has also backfired on the enemy, who was able to explode the enemy trenches, and then when they tried to rush through them, basically they got massacred in the hole. So yeah, anyhow, let's just head in and see what we can do. Obviously you can see the Germans just inches above the French soldiers here digging through something, but it's different if you are a proper miner and if you are a soldier. Soldiers are usually not trained to think and handle and manage the tunnels. The soldier will not let us pass through, therefore the only other choice to go through is through here. And here, if we will try to dig in this direction, there are some undetonated shells. So I need to be careful here, because even if I would try to send, for example, Walter there, that might not end well. So let's try and dig through here and let Vulture pull the soldier from that place. Now we will send Vulture there one more time to pick up that tin can and ask Vulture to come back to us. That's a good little poochie. And now we will head to back over here, throwing in the can, which will detonate the unexploded shells. Now Emil is able to go down. Here we see that the soldier is missing the detonator in order to blow up the rubble. The underground gas leak or smoke has killed potentially that soldier, but we will need to stay here. The soldier above us just got killed. We need to help free up this soldier. And here is one of the many puzzles which we will need to deal with. So what I need to do here is a bit interesting. I will need to throw the stick of dynamite through the fire over to that cart. That should blow up that wooden planks that this was basically standing on top of. And I need to push the cart in here. And soon we are gonna get close, hopefully, to the first collectible. So here we hear some screams for help. Before I head over there, however, here is where we will come across the first collectible. So I need to ask Walter to enter that tunnel, and when he joins us in here, you ask him to go underneath that smoke, and there he is able to dig out the listening device, which is the first collectible for the Vaqua mines. I'm gonna stop pronouncing the name of the town, because if someone is from France, they're gonna probably lynch me for my terrible pronunciation. I do apologize, never had French lessons, and I'm not really sure if I want to pick up French language, so I was thinking more like Spanish or German. I will see. Anyhow, let's see what will happen here. Okay, so here we have another puzzle and also a hidden secret or collectible. So Emil will need to do a few things here. Just see if I remember what are those damn things. Okay, give me a second. There are a lot of puzzles, and I have the notes specifically right now only for like the collectibles. Okay, I think I do recall now what the heck to do. We're gonna need that stick of dynamite. Okay, so first of all, we need to throw the first stick over here. That will detonate the dirt. Now that the dirt has detonated, we need to ask Walter to crawl in through the other tunnel, and because he is here, he's able to push the lever. This will change the direction of the flame. Don't ask me how that is even possible, just it is. And now we need to do a few things. So Emil will need to throw onto this small cart the dynamite stick. And once that is done, I need to push that stick over to that rubble. However, we are not done here. Now we have freed up the detonator, but what I need to do is throw one more stick of dynamite, because the other collectible is in this room and is so well hidden, you would not believe it. So, damn it, I missed. Let's try to move you to reduce the angle. And you need to pull the cart above Emil. And when you detonate this dirt above him, this will give you the telephone cable, which is the second collectible here. One of the well-hidden collectibles in this mission. Okay, so it's pointless for me to take a stick of dynamite because we need the detonator, and Emil can carry on one thing at a time. So let's go pick this up. Sure, I can have here our Walter carry a stick of dynamite, but it's kind of pointless for now. So let's just continue through here. I'm still wondering what the hell is this pipe which is blowing fire, but yeah, anyhow, we're gonna have Walter join us down here, and we need to return from this place. So we need to run away from here because Emil is suffocating, and once you detonate this, we are able to move along, free up some more soldiers. But before we go through here, you can see that Walter has found something in the dirt. And this is the General Headquarters News Bulletin. This is the third collectible, so we are halfway done. Okay, so what do we do here? Well, we hear some soldiers who are struggling for air or something. So we will definitely need to address that. But if we try to continue with Emil through here, you see that this pathway has been completely sealed off by rubble. So Emil will need to dig, and here is where you need to be careful. In this tunnel specifically is where you will find another collectible. So what you need to do is dig through here, and be careful because there is some smoke up there. And here is the fourth collectible throat. Losange? Is that the correct pronunciation? Hopefully, yeah. Okay, so let's just keep on digging. Fortunately, it looks like we did not manage to get here fast enough, so the miner to whom we were sent at the start of the mission by the officer has unfortunately passed. We are able to release the small bird, and we will need to continue to make our way through these mines. So here we have another puzzle. A German soldier has somehow got his leg stuck onto a rope, and on the other end is a cart in these deep mines, so we need to free him up. The pathway here is blocked off. Let's see if I recall how to do this. Okay, if we do this, unfortunately the pathway has been closed, so we need to use Walter to chew through the rope and free up the soldier.
How are you?
Danke.
Merci, mon ami.
Ja, Spinnaker.
So unfortunately we cannot go back the way we came here, so we will need to follow the German soldier who has somehow by miracle planted in a ton of explosives and has a detonator on him. Now Emil will be able to dig through this rubble, luckily enough for us, and here a couple of fun things will actually happen.
Da kommst du.
Okay.
Vas-y.
So we will need to get onto the platform, and the German soldier will push us across this pit filled with some deadly gas. We then move the cart back onto the other end, and we move him to our position. Reason why we still need him, otherwise none of us would survive this. Now I'm not exactly sure what are the underground gases which are being collected in the mines, but I'm quite sure it can be quite deadly. So here we will need to push, which will free up the pathway. And now we get to actually the German side of the
Merci, mon ami.
mines, believe it or not.
No.
Hey, stillstand! Du da, was? Gibt's doch nicht.
Merci, mon ami.
So thanks to us saving the German soldier, he has actually let us escape. And now the officer has second task for us in the mines. It's starting to rain, so it's getting a bit tricky. And previously, when the soldier was here guarding this post, we weren't able to enter. Now we need to get this cart up here and push it somewhere else. On the other edge of the shaft, you can see one of the collectibles. And it looks like the last one, so we are still missing one additional collectible, which we will need to find in these mines. Now, as you can see here, the German soldiers are above us, and they have this wrench which looks super tempting, and I feel like I'm gonna need to get my hands on it. Unfortunately, we are unable to get to that lever. So we're going to go down here. This path has been completely blocked off, and we will have to go through this direction. Now, sure, here we can, for example, throw this in order to get up there, which is great, but we are not done down there. You see, if you would just do this, you would miss out on the collectible, and we want all the collectibles. So we need to dig through here, and this is where we will find the British identificational tag from 1915. So now that the platform has been raised, we are able to get up there and dig through the dirt. Walter should be able to join us back up here. Not really sure who dug up those tunnels for the dog. I mean, should I really question this? And that looks like the soldier we managed to save. This is where we need to push the cart. And this is where Walter will need to do his magic. So if Emil digs through this place, he will uncover a small tunnel for Walter. Walter is then able to go through up here and run past the German soldiers who suddenly don't care that there is a dog in the tunnels. Walter will pick up that tool or wrench or whatever it is, and once he goes through the tunnels yet again, he will join us here. That's a good little doggy. Well, it's probably Rottweiler and it's not a small doggy, but you know what I'm trying to say. Anyhow, Walter has somehow decided to stay behind for some reason, but don't worry, he will join us back up here or over here when we get there. So we are able to use the wrench, and now the cart has been raised up. But once again, we want all the collectibles. And these are all the 6 which you can get in the Vauquois mines. Once again, I do apologize for my horrendous pronunciation. Now I kind of did manage to forget about this, so let's try to fix that. Come on, Emil, work it. Show us that strong man skill. It's kind of amazing that he's just walking through there. He doesn't even bother to help us. It looks like the German soldiers did manage to dig deeper with the tunnel, and as you can see right now, the entire roof of this tunnel is covered in dynamite sticks, which previously were not present.
Hey, Prosit! Prosit! Okie dokie! Yes! Okay, let me go! I'm going to go! Camarade!
French officers were proud of the heavy losses inflicted on the enemy. Emil, full of anger, refused to be decorated for what he considered to be a cowardly act. Emil and Freddy were, however, happy to have saved Anna's father from Baron von Dorf's clutches. His scientific research could no longer be used to make weapons of war. Good news being few and far between, they wanted to savor this moment. But Anna had frightening news. Karl had been killed while trying to escape the POW camp. Upon hearing of his death, Emil became sickened with grief.
If you recall, in one of the previous episodes, Karl and one of the German soldiers were able to escape from the POW camp. Now, Karl will actually try to escape and survive. So here we will need to do a few things, obviously. Once again, there are military police that are chasing after us. You can read about managing the death. But we will need to pick up all of the collectibles. And that will be super tricky because we are being chased by, I feel like, an entire army regiment. So let's just wait here in the underground, because otherwise there was a barbed wire out here, and Karl does not any longer possess the wire cutters, which he used to escape the camp. So the French soldiers or the military police has actually got through the wire, and now we will continue to run through the woods. Now here we actually see a stationary light. The soldier is guarding this place, so we will need to bypass it. But here, you would go logically in this direction. That is a mistake. You need to return to this bush, and here you will find the tent canvas. This is the first collectible, super easy to miss because it's so early in this level. So let us continue here. I need to be careful because the French soldiers keep moving and changing their directions. So you never want to be caught in the light that they are casting with their flashlights. Here we will use these makeshift boats to get across the water. I need to time this just the right way, otherwise we will get caught. I really don't want to actually end up redoing parts of this level. And here is a tricky part. So usually what you see here is this wheel, and usually people start to turn it. That is a mistake. You need to run up this tree fort, because if you would be trying to turn the wheel, it would take you so long that the French soldiers here would actually manage to catch up to you. However, you cannot stay here forever. We need to run away from here. So here we will actually get into some sort of weird apple orchard. Not sure if any of you ever worked in an apple orchard. The trees are never kept super tall, because it would be super weird to basically try and pick up the apples this way. But anyhow, the 3 apples which have fallen are so tantalizing to the French soldiers. We are able to run down through, or run down from the trees, start churning this wheel, and here you see why I actually advise you to get up the tree instead of turning this wheel, because this would take just far too damn long. Once that is in place, Karl can go inside, open the locker, and in this locker is the second collectible of this mission. And this house is a bit tricky. So what we need to do is go up here, and if we don't do it fast enough, the French soldier can basically chase after us. need to lower this platform, and you see that the French soldiers are now at the lower level, which means that the fence is left without any supervision. If we were to try to return to the house at this point, you would actually find the French soldiers even up on the branches or on the upper level of the house. So I do not advise you to try and do that. We will just continue to try and escape with Karl. Now here I advise you to go down because you are chased after by a soldier, and here in this bush underneath is actually Goat Hide, which is the third collectible of this tricky mission. Okay, and the last two, those will be some challenge. Okay, was afraid there that I would get caught. Luckily enough, did not manage to get caught. We'll run past the soldier. And here we need the wine bottle in order to break the lamp. Now the soldiers only get angry, but because I was talking, I did not run. So I screwed up, so let's redo this part. The collectible should be picked up, so we should be a-okay. If you check here, the goat hide has been collected. The soldier should not be able to spot me. We'll grab the glass or the bottle yet again. We'll wait for the soldier to face us with his back. I will throw this into the lamp and start running because we are being chased by soldiers. And this is kind of a Children of the Corn scene where you need to use the scarecrow in the field of corn. Once you put down the scarecrow, you are actually hidden behind it. And here in the corn, you are able to see another collectible. Just make sure you do not put the scarecrow on top of the collectible, because if you try to pick it up, Karl might instead interact with the scarecrow, and because you are no longer being covered by it, the French soldiers will see you and you will need to redo this part yet again. So this is the British magazine. We'll wait for the French soldiers to move away. We will start moving. Put down the scarecrow. Wait in the cover of the scarecrow, and then we run. And here, we will run into one of the most bizarre and most beautiful segments of the game from my point of view, where we will become the wolf amongst the sheep. And this will be a bit tricky, because the sheep will not behave the way we want to. So I will keep utilizing the animals to be hidden. Really don't want to get caught. Let's move over here. And this is not the part which I was referring to. This is the part which I was referring to, people. One of the most scariest and beautiful scenes throughout this game from my point of view, where they are using flares in order to find Karl. As you can see, there are lots of soldiers. So we will need to wait for each of these flares to die out. And this is why I feel it's like an entire battalion or regiment chasing after Karl. Now here, below the tree, you can see the last collectible. I'm gonna wait for this flare to actually die out. We're gonna move to the base of the tree, pick up the braces, which is the last collectible of this mission. You are welcome. And we will continue our escape because we are still not done here. So let's keep on running. They are still chasing after us. And there's a lot of them. And here you can see that our friend has ran into some issues, and the French soldiers are trying to get in. Unfortunately, it looks like Wilfred has been hurt. So what Karl did was switch his dog tags.
Halte, il est là!
September 15th, 1916. The bloody Battle of the Somme still raged on. 206,000 British soldiers would lose their lives there. Freddy was commissioned to drive the newest weapon of war, a major progress in a conflict that was literally stuck in the mud. But Baron von Dorf was also counting on this battle to shine in front of his superiors.
And this is the Battle of the Somme, where Freddy was deployed amongst the British soldiers. Unfortunately, this will be part of the next episode, so I do hope you did enjoy this one. It was blast, literally in the first part of the mission where we had to blow up those tunnels and then try to escape as Karl. Now, if you liked the episode, consider giving it a like, as it will help me a lot to push the content to more unsuspected viewers, because the YouTube algorithm works that way. If the video does not have likes, it is not pushed onto more people, and if they are not using filters, due to the age of the game, I cannot guarantee lots of people will be able to enjoy the episode. But yeah. Also, consider subscribing to the channel. I publish episodes on a weekly basis, so you will always have something fun to watch. But other than that, I would like to thank you for joining me for this episode of Valiant Hearts. I'm gonna wish you a pleasant rest of the day, and I will see you in the comment section or at the next one. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.